Yeah, I'm good.
Yo, what is going on, nerds? We are back.
That has that it we, again. It's been a minute, but it's always a pleasure to be back, man. Like work life and everything. It keeps us away, but we'll never deny you guys.
Oh yeah,
Corey's been amazing at posting stuff, so he's like keeping us relevant. Thank you very much for that.
I try. I try. Keep the nerdverse alive. We're here for the people, trying to grow this thing. It's getting bigger,
Mhm.
growing every day. Thank you to the new followers, the old followers, the consistent followers.
Yeah, our top followers, y'all are great. We appreciate all the love, and especially the ones that blew us up about being able to do some comic book art. That is like right up our alley. We love that idea. Like,
We're definitely looking forward to working with somebody because we got a lot of stuff. We got a
all
lot of
the stuff. All the
writing
stuff.
and some things we need to get to and actually get on the ground and running.
Yep. And actually, I don't know if any of you saw this, but again, Corey was able to do a live stream for a little bit. Unfortunately, I was only able to like look at it for a quick second because I had wedding stuff to do for Tanae's sister, and it was a great weekend, but it was also good to see we're getting the live stream stuff up.
Oh yeah,
Like that's a huge step. That is a very important step for us.
yes. With the more followers we have, we got to give you guys more content. So
Mhm.
it was definitely a very impromptu thing, and I was like, I'm watching football. Let's go ahead and do this thing
All right.
way and just try to watch it because I can't stream on Facebook, stream video games on Facebook right now, only on Twitch and YouTube. But we're working on it. Working on it.
Oh yeah. And I mean, since we're talking about streaming stuff, we might as well just kind of jump into some video game stuff. And I
I
think the
I
most important thing we can talk about right now is how much fun is Baldur's Gate 3? Like, it
ooh,
is so nice. Like as soon as it came out from PlayStation 5, I snagged it and it's been my life for the past few days. And most of that time was me truly dedicating myself to creating my first character. I had to get over the fact, like, not, I guess get over is the wrong way to put it, but I just had to remind myself, like, I can create other characters, and there's like thousands of different endings that can be possible with this game. So, yeah, but I dove in on this first character. His name is Abraham. He's a half elf and half I'm gonna mess up that other half. Drow,
Drow, Drow,
Drow,
Drow, whatever you want to say is
and
DROW.
yep, and it. I mean, I love him. He's a monk, and I mean, I also reflect the blackness, so like that's also a big bonus. But man, this game has been so much fun. This is like going to be probably the perfect streaming opportunity for us because it is a quick and easy uh electronic driven D&D system.
Yeah,
It's so well. It's right up my alley. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I am a high elf named Sarif. That's actually the main character from one of the books I'm writing. His name.
that's right.
The sorcerer. He's pretty dope. Also, black guy dreads. You know what I mean? I had to get blackness in there.
Oh, I my guy has the curly top fade. So
I got paid. Nice.
did I also have some Kakashi inspiration for his hair? A little bit, but like
Maybe. Did
did I
I?
have the whiteness, that white hair from Kakashi? Yeah, 100%.
Do I have a little bit of inspiration from Gojo with the eye color and stuff like that? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
But the game is awesome. Um, I I believe we're basically in the same area. We both.
Yep.
I don't want to reveal too much, but we're the goblins then and taking down the goblins. This game is so much fun. I
Let
can't
me.
wait to play
This
more.
is this is one of the best like video game intros I ever had, where they do a good job at throwing you in, but it's not like it's a lot of cool cinematic action sequence where It involves dragons. It involves some Cthulhu Lovecraftian creatures. It's perfect.
Because
That intro, I was like, yeah,
I
yep,
saw him,
I'm
I was like,
hooked.
Cthulhu.
Man, like the way it's going, yeah, we're not going to give too much away right now. Again, we'll live stream it because we can form parties. We can pretty much like in the same sense as Diablo, where you can join together, go through stuff together, but it feels way more involved and way more focused in the actual story aspect of it rather than the open worldness of it. Which don't get me wrong, they didn't lack on the open world part either.
No.
It's but again, it hits more on that D&D factor of certain races have better vision in like darkness, for example. So your character might be able to see farther in the dark, but your friends or one of the PC characters may not be able to.
Yeah,
They
man.
have
Efficiency.
they have perception checks and all that stuff, man. It's so perfect. I customize my dice.
They went all out on it. It is fantastic. Customizations on the dice, like you said. Like it's everything we could have asked for. It is. And maybe a little bit more than I asked for. Because I'm like sitting there messing with my character and I'm like, hide clothes. I'm like, what is that? And I click it and it hid my clothes. And I flashed myself.
Hey.
I wasn't too pleased with that, but
It was looking into the video game mirror. That's what it was.
be careful. Make sure you're not playing it around your kids or anything. See something.
Right? Like, don't start this with like relatively, I guess, straight edge group. Because if you hit that option, you also have the option to make your character however you want. You get to choose how they identify themselves. He, she, they. Like it's very, very involved. So it gives you so much control. And I think that's what we all want in life is that extra little bit of control. Obviously, we all can't get it, but this video game provides it.
That's why we
So,
play these video games, and we
yep.
win just like this one. So, yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is at the top of the list. That game is phenomenal. There's been so many games that came out. Uh, actually, the funniest thing that happened this week, I was telling my buddy, I did the nerdiest thing possible.
Oh, what was that?
You know, I had my wife buy this game for me, but I didn't ask her to buy Baldur's Gate. Like, hey, babe, can you buy 2K?
Oh, yeah.
I used the money she gave me for 2K to get Baldur's Gate 3.
Priorities. Priorities.
Thought it'd be funny.
And like with 2K, it's one of those games where I for a long time I was one of those people for like I would throw money at it for the pre-order. But the older I get, I'm just like, I can wait. Like, but with Baldur's Gate 3 or even Starfield, shut up and take my money right away.
Lucky because you have the Xbox, I have PS5, and you also have PS5, but you have the Xbox as well. How is Starfield?
Man, Starfield is great. I'm truly, truly enjoying it. Like a big thing for Starfield, and I think what a lot of people kind of love, but there's also like that slight drawback of it is it's a Bethesda game, so it does feel like Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout, like whatever you want to like relate to the Bethesda name. It 100% has that feel where if it is Skyrim or Fallout, but it involves space.
Yeah.
The overall open worldness, again, it can be a lot, but once you truly get into the game and you're just kind of flowing with how everything is being thrown at you, that doesn't really matter at the end because Bethesda's won awards. Bethesda has made Skyrim probably one of the more relevant games in the world today because they just know how to keep providing updates. They know how to keep people in. The customization, like making my character, he's he is definitely like a blind pirate is the best way I can describe my character, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
Blind
it.
pirate. It's scurvy.
Yeah. And like, dude, the addition of like space exploration, planet exploration, and just the overall ability to customize your ship and have actual dog battles in space when you want to, it's super cool. Like that's where they took the, I guess, divergent road from what they normally do.
Right.
Because if you're familiar with these games, there's a lot of running around on the map that's provided. Still open world, still massive. But with Starfield, you get to explore different planets. And yes, you'll still run into your boundaries on these planets or even while you're exploring the galaxy. But that's not enough to like take away from all the effort and work that's gone into this.
Yeah.
It is such a cool game. It is so much fun. I haven't really been able to dive in it too much because Baldur Gates 3 took over. And this, like, Baldur Gates 3 is the best response Sony has to Microsoft for Starfield.
Yeah.
And I think Sony's pulled it off better. I truly do. I'm very much a sci-fi guy. Mass Effect is my favorite game series of all time. I'm actually going through it again currently, but it's a little bit on the back burner. I play both Baldur Gates and Mass Effect as evenly as I can. I love the sci-fi, like Star Wars, everything. 100% up my alley. But yeah, I also can't take away from Baldur's Gate because it's just such a perfect representation of a genre.
That's a very, very, very well put in comparing those two games, and I really, really am jealous of.
Hey, listen, it's not Xbox restrictive for Starfield. So if for all of you out there that have a Microsoft Game Pass, you're able to play it on your gaming laptop. So you can make it work. There's ways around it. It sucks that it's not on PlayStation, which I think would be amazing. I think it would operate probably a little bit better on a PlayStation. Not to necessarily take away from what Microsoft has been able to provide, but and the overall power you can get from your PlayStation 5, especially if you added the extra RAM slot that they tend to offer. When you buy a PlayStation 5 nowadays, it's such a it and if Microsoft and Sony can work out their issues and kind of get over the exclusive gaming idea, game
Let
over.
Let's take it in baby steps. The cross
Oh yeah.
platform. Perfect that first.
Yeah, that too. 100%. Listen, this is oh man, yeah. The gaming world is it's an interesting place right now. It's fun. But they also are going to keep you on your toes.
Dog world. And they are trying to eat each other alive.
Right?
We have also 2K24 that dropped recently, and I have not played it yet. Not really too much in a rush to play that one.
Right.
Be there. I'm not a huge online my career player type guy. If I'm online, I'm probably going to play with a bunch of friends.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter that much, or I'll play, head to head like exhibition matches with the full teams, not just one player.
Right. I don't know if you know this about us nerds, but we love a story. So like online play isn't necessarily our thing unless it's very story driven.
Yeah, we like the RPGs, we like the progressions, and
Not to take away from Apex, Call of Duty, all these different type of games like that. But like I think we for the most part, we can all agree a good story is truly what makes the difference. Because I get lost in Call of Duty where I remember where those stories where I was super drawn into it. But nowadays I'm just like, man, like y'all are very battle royale-esque and cool.
yeah, I haven't played Call of Duty in a minute. I still like it, but I play team deathmatch most of the time.
Right. and we'll play it with each other. Like we're on the same team. So
And then nowadays, like the reason why I brought up 2K24, this pay to play stuff is getting out of control, man.
it's so dumb. Like you're taking away from people that want to make the actual effort. Like they want to make that grind. And
Oh,
sure, fine, whatever. Like I'm very much one of those people that doesn't have a lot of time to grind out a game. But I'm also not necessarily looking for the easiest path possible.
yeah, it's not fun that way. I like with 2K, I like playing real basketball. If I wanted to play, I don't just make an NBA Street or something. I don't know
Right.
because this I can't go online with my player and play against other people and their player because it's not a team game. You know, I we're all in the rec center and then one person's just dribbling around the entire court,
Right.
taking shots from a ridiculous range and making them every time. But
Yep, and it's like there's no fun to this. Like I'm not doing this to just get beat.
or just to win by letting somebody else shoot. I
Right.
want to shoot, but I like playing the team game. I like playing basketball. I guess I sound
Yep.
like a boomer, old man, but get that pay to play shit out of the basketball. out of
There's a place for it, but no, like not. I don't think the 2K world is the place for it because yeah, there are those times where I'll like try to play with random people, but then all of a sudden like I can't. There's nothing I can do because people will hog the ball or the other team is just so stacked with either people that grind it out or people that just throw money at it, and it's just all right, cool. Like I guess I'm not playing this game for the reason it's being made. Like cool.
yeah, yeah, and then like I don't even have the time to grind out that much to get that good. You know, get my player stats that high that quickly as much as everybody else. So
Right.
I'm okay with that. My defense is good no matter what my rating is, but you
The defense wins games, baby.
not in the rec center.
Yeah. Well, what rec center are we talking about though?
2K,
I guess that also makes a difference.
yeah, the 2K rec center.
Oh, well, that one, yeah, that's fair.
Um, what else we got from the video game world?
Well, I have two interesting video game stories. I'll kind of roll through them quick, because they're both still very ongoing things, but I figured they'd be very good things to bring up because it affects a lot of us. It truly does. Or I guess the best way to put it is it affects the indie gaming world and it also affects anybody that is just a kind of a gaming engineer. And those of us that do enjoy games and like those of us that tend to dive into the games or developers that we love. So the first thing I'll talk about is the gaming developer Unity. Some of you may have that triggered in your brain because Unity is a very, very popular video game engineering developing company. They've helped get a lot of phone apps off of the ground. They've also contributed to a lot of indie console games and PC games that are out there. But like they've been a huge, huge effect in the gaming world since they basically got started in 2005. But recently, I don't know if it's an ownership change or something along those lines where they became like a publicly traded company. But nowadays, like especially recently, they are coming up with this new rule that basically says after a certain revenue threshold is met, gaming developers are going to get charged extra to use the Unity gaming engine. And that is brutal for the indie game world or these groups that are trying to get their foot through the door. Like it basically makes it so if you work with Unity, they'll be if you're an indie gaming company, they'll be like, look, after you hit your first, let's say, 50,000, we're going to charge you this much extra to keep using our gaming engine. So you're more or less paying some extra rent or like leasing out your stuff when, if you think about it, you're an indie gaming group. You may, like, there's a possibility you may not have to pay rent because it's just you in your basement with some friends. Fine, whatever. But if you're truly trying to take yourself off, trying to make your name out there in the world, you got to think about server space. You got to think about renting the offices. You got to think about all that extra stuff in between. So for Unity to come out there and just be like, no, we're going to charge you this extra amount of money just to keep us because you're making money.
Yeah, that's wild because like you said, these indie companies and they're working with smaller budgets as is.
Right.
So yeah, that's just that's not a good way to grow the gaming community.
Yeah, and you have it has indie game developers and big game developers being like, hold on. Like it's already hard enough to like get into this business and actually make money off of it. Because I can't remember the name of the game off the top of my head. I'll probably have to look it up. But it's a recently released game where it's a kind of a first person fantasy world shooter where you're roaming around. It looks amazing. Again, I can't think of the name of it, so it sounds really dumb, but I can't think of the name of it. But essentially, that group that made that game, it looks amazing. It looks like a lot of fun. Again, if you enjoy Fallout, Skyrim, this type of game is right up your alley. There's less character customization, but it looks like a super cool story. They had to lay off half of their employees because they have to adjust for stuff like this. And just because their game hasn't sold a lot, because they happen to like have their game released in the window of Starfield and Baldur's Gate for console systems, you're getting lost in the mix, man. So it's just it takes away from these groups.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, like half of that company got laid off because they can't afford to, because they didn't have enough gaming sales right off the bat. And that just leaves so many people unemployed. It just leaves so many people up in the wind about something they're very passionate about. But now they might not be able to pursue it unless some other company is like looking for someone.
Exactly. Yeah, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate stuff. Not good look for Unity. They should probably readjust that.
Also, please forgive me. My allergies are not my friend today.
You're fine, man. I'm working with a sore face still. Got slight headache. So I'm a little
Yeah.
but
then yeah. We're powering through. We're powering through the sickness.
Dude, power through. But let's keep moving. Let's go on to got another story.
Yep. The only other video game kind of related thing I had to bring up was the Right to Repair Act. So for those of you that aren't familiar with it, a quick rundown. The Right to Repair Act didn't necessarily focus on video games itself. It more focused on any electronics or basically anything that had moving parts to it. And the Right to Repair Act more or less gives us as the public the right to get the parts to make our own mods to whatever it is. It basically, it prevents the creators of the product to just overcharge for repairs. And it also opens the door for small businesses that want to be laptop repairs or any type of electronic repair type of situation. So currently, now this act is potentially going to start involving more gaming systems. So that means more opportunities for small businesses or small businesses that are already existing to bring in game console repair to their sphere. Very, very cool idea. But then you also have the gaming companies that are against it, specifically Nintendo. they're very adamantly against something like this because their biggest fear is people taking the time to jailbreak their systems. And obviously that would suck for Nintendo because they're losing out on what, like XYZ type of idea where you could jailbreak your Switch and potentially have it be able to run PS5 games. So they're losing out on that idea of a gaming specific culture, which I mean, again, we were just talking about how exclusivity it's at a point where we should get over it. But I also want to respect the gaming worlds that have brought us to where we're at. So if Nintendo is like, I would rather not, I'm like, okay, fair, but hey, again, it's one of those things where it opens the door for a lot of small businesses to get started or small businesses that exist to expand. And we'll just have to kind of wait and see because this is also an act that only truly affects like California, Minnesota, and 2 other states. So we'll just have to see how it goes in those states, and then they'll probably get rolled out for the rest of us.
Right.
Yeah, that was my dive into the video gaming world. Because let me tell you, there's plenty more, but for now we'll keep it at that.
try to keep it just at that. Hopefully we can do another short
We'll see.
more just exclusively on video games sometime this week. But we just had a couple things I wanted to touch on anime.
Yay.
We have Tokyo Revengers season 3. The trailer.
Dude.
Look, a lot of people were upset at Tokyo Revengers. I still love it, man. The story's good. The story is good.
Yeah, man, like it and I brought up gatekeeping for Dungeons and Dragons. The anime world is also a perfect idea for that.
Yeah,
there's just so many people that get so upset about a lot of this new stuff that comes out. Obviously, it's not all going to be amazing, but like,
well, it's specifically the things that are like, whether the main character is a little bit too whiny,
yeah,
or
Deku,
strong, like Takamichi in Tokyo Revengers.
oh, so good.
He
I love that.
That's really at all, but it's more about his character and his
Right.
and like how he holds himself like that. But I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Tokyo Revengers season 3, and yeah, it's gonna be good. We also have Attack on Titan.
Yes, that is top 3 series for me. And not even anime, just in general.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my animes are just in my top shows in general.
Right.
Attack on Titan is in my top 5 as well.
The emotional roller coaster, let me tell you. Like,
you want to be confused and just conflicted with emotion throughout a series. It walks hand in hand with Game of Thrones on that.
Oh yeah, but it's right up there.
So maybe even more so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to say even more so because listen, Game of Thrones, great, but it's a very slow burn.
Yeah, and you get used to the backstabbing. You don't get used to the betrayal.
Attack on Titan,
the
maybe it's slow for like all of 5 minutes, if that.
Like all of 5 minutes, like for real.
Because even the start of the show, they're throwing you into chaos and provide that little bit of backstory as the show goes on, and then you're thrown right back into the chaos, and it just doesn't stop.
That until it just gradually ends eventually, whenever it does end. Who knows? Yep. This might not even be the finale. They said it before. It's like Tom Brady,
right?
Coming back.
Listen, the amount of Tom Brady going to the Jets posts that I saw It just made me so happy on the inside because that'd be the funniest thing in the world. It truly would be. Anyways, we'll get to that. We'll focus on anime.
Uh, I mean, but yeah, that's all I had for Attack on Titan. I also wanted to just talk a little bit about the Shibuya incident.
Yo, I've only gotten like couple episodes into this newest season. Ooh,
Ooh.
so
Well, then I won't dive too deep into it, but man, right after they ended the prologues, what was it, 3 or 4 episodes, and then the Shibuya incident started immediately, and that first fight, the giant Mechamaru. That's all I
yeah.
can say. Yeah, boy, that was intense. It was a great fight, and the past 2 episodes have been awesome as well. And that's all I can say without, spoiling it for you. It's just, oh man, we got some old faces in there, some old villains that are back, but that's all I'll say. That's all I'll
Okay, okay,
say.
okay. I can get behind that. I can get behind that.
Um, oh, and not anime, just still in the media, television world,
Mm.
movie world. Lando, the Lando
Yes.
Calrissian movie or TV show is now going to be a movie.
Yep. Donald Glover worked his magic. He's like, listen, if I'm going to do this, we're going to do this my way.
Not wasting my time on TV again and just want to do a movie and get it done with, I guess.
Yep. Listen, he put in so much time with Atlanta, and if you haven't watched Atlanta, you're doing yourself a disservice because that's a great series. Um, like truly watching Donald Glover throw himself into it's just so cool.
Yeah.
It's such a great look into the idea of starting your own business, like trying to get yourself out into the world, but also that idea that everybody else is also doing it too. So it really hits on how he finds a way to make him and his crew stand out. It's so well done. I love it.
It's a good story. I love it. Yeah, that's all I have for TV and movie stuff and anime. We can talk about some sports real quick. We got a little bit of sports, not too much, not too much.
Always good to talk about sports, especially since the football season has begun.
Yes. And let's just dive in with some college real quick. Real quick college, because we
Okay.
only got to talk about one team in college. Just one.
I can only imagine who that could be.
Yeah. Obviously, it's prime time. Colorado.
Mhm.
And not a whole lot. They did their thing last week against Nebraska. I had a feeling they would. And then this week they kind of got a light load, but we got some beef.
Interstate rivalry.
Yeah, coach of Colorado State, Coach Norvell. I don't know what's his angle here. Like, what is he? Where's he getting at? What's he getting
Yeah,
at?
I don't know. But hey, for those of you that aren't as versed in sports or just may not have the college football knowledge, the Colorado State coach went on record, went to the media, basically calling out Dion, say, look, I was raised to be an adult that when you're talking to somebody, you take your hat and your sunglasses off.
And not even just that. It was in a press conference, and obviously it was of a older demographic, I'd say, an older
A
crowd.
very specific group.
Because the way he said it, I was raised. My mom taught me to take my sunglasses off and my hat off when I'm talking to adults. First of all, you were a child talking to an adult when she said that.
And let's be real, a
Talking
group of adults that grew up broken. Because to talk about any form of mental health or however you may feel about somebody, such a taboo thing. Like,
parents are never wrong back then. But
uh-huh. Yeah.
and then not to mention, like, you guys just gotta like pause this right now and go to YouTube, look up the clip, because like right after he said that, he got like a weird standing ovation, like subtle applause thing that happened.
Yeah.
It sounded like a bunch of like very old claps, like just like very happy about that. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Very much a group of people that wish they had the ability to express themselves like that.
I'm just saying, like Deion Sanders is not somebody you try to, you know, ignite some beef with. You know,
There's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason he's called primetime.
he's very good at leading these kids and doing what he's doing on the field.
And
Again,
also let it be known he has never talked any sort of garbage before any of these games. But people are just going after him because he's changing the way college football is presented. That's all.
I don't even think he's changing it that much. He's doing everything everybody else has been doing. He's just more famous.
I think a big way to think about it is he's the type of personality that is going to be super, super vocal. And yeah, 100% helps that he was with the Cowboys while they were a very relevant team. Uh, and I guess they're kind of still a relevant team, but whatever. They're the Cowboys. We won't talk about them that much. But listen, for him to say what he is saying in the college football world, it doesn't happen often. And if it does, they're getting fined and then they're never talking about it again.
Okay.
So for him just to openly be like, yeah, I'm taking this personally that I'm being attacked for doing nothing. Because like, who cares? Who cares? I'm wearing a hat. I'm talking to y'all. Y'all are adults. Like,
Marshall, I'm an adult. You take that hat off when you're talking to me.
nah.
Okay.
Because I'm also repping a great Wisconsin company.
Okay.
Hummingbird, baby.
That's
They're
good.
great, great graphic design group.
Ooh, like that. Sponsors? Huh? What?
What?
But we are coming up on time, guys. After we get back, we will finish off with some NFL and maybe a little bit of USA tragedy, basketball tragedy.
LeBron thinks he can fix it, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
Where were you?
We'll be back.